Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts. Today I'm going to make a layout in an altered book using collage and other techniques. Way back when I first did a collage how-to video, that is a, a process video that showed how to make a strong collage layout, something compelling that told a good story, I thought it was going to be boring. I thought I was going to get the hook. And I was mistaken. Because right from the beginning, I got so much feedback saying, I had no idea. I thought you just took one image and another image and maybe added some embellishment, and you just glued them down and you had the perfect collage layout. It does not work that way. It took me 3 hours yesterday preparing for this, 3 hours just to narrow it down to these images. Now, granted, I was also working on 2 other collage at the same time. And that's because once you've got 137 pieces of paper on the table and you're working through them, combining, uh, seeing what goes where, 3 is not that much more work than 1. My point is, it took me quite a while to come to this point. If you like altered books, journal arts, vintage books, paper, and ephemera, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications, and you will have more of them in your life. Now, let's go make a collage in an altered book. By the way, the process videos for those other 2 collages will be coming in a video near you soon, so stay tuned. This is an altered book that I have been working on for some time. I just dip into it as and when I have a chance. It's from 1855, and it's called L'Ami des Enfants, which means something like the friend of the children. And if this cover is anything to go by, they were very fancy children indeed. I've already made a couple of layouts, and I have videos showing how they got made. There's a link to those videos in the text below this one. Now, all I'm going to do today is rotate through some of these images and talk about what works and tells a story and stuff. She is from a magazine called The Girl's Own Paper from 1872. This was a magazine in Britain that was published for decades, and I really like the engravings. This guy is from a book that I got at a thrift store of different birds and wildlife. So I cut him out. I like this because my layouts get black and white heavy if I'm not careful. And even though he does have colors, they're nice, muted, dusty colors. Now, I like my focal points to interact with each other so that it's not one page and one page, it's one canvas, one layout. She's not interacting with him. She's looking off into the distance here, something that we can't see that's off the page. And he is looking at her, looking away. And I think that is a story because that's quite a perplexed look, as if to say, what can possibly be that compelling? It must really, really be good, or maybe I better be getting away from here fast. Yeah, now we have something different. He's looking off to something that we can't see. Nah, they're both too ethereal here. I don't think they belong together. She is lovely, also from the girl's own paper. And the same thing. This is actually I like this layout. He's he's giving her hat quite the side eye. Or maybe he's admiring it. Something like that. That would work. Now, here are some young girls in First Communion gowns, and they're from a magazine called La Mode Illustrée, and it's from like 1882. What does work about this? Usually, I don't like people, but what works about this is that the pleats in their dresses very much echo the pleats in her headdress, and so there's some balance here like that. It also, in this context, creates a kind of halo, and so they may be perhaps she could be a kind of a Madonna, and they are looking at her with devotion, and that would also be a story. Or we could make it a little more whimsical. I actually kinda like that. Another thing that I thought I would try with this lady is this guy. He's from a field guide of, nature from 1811. And again, what I like about this is, that the stripes also echo that. So even though it's not exactly telling a story, there's some continuity visually that makes it strong. Oh, that's not bad. Actually, that's that's kinda good. It doesn't really tell a story, but visually it's a good composition. I've had this guy for yonks. He was from a book of old illustrations, and he's so dramatic. But I'm not sure there's enough going on here. That's better. How about that? Could she be wearing this thing? Now, actually, that is way stronger. Again, because she's looking this way, and their eyes are somewhat similar, and then his ears echo her very, very nice hat. So, that is something I could consider. It would need something, though. And then I like that because now, um, they are definitely wondering what is going on with the top of her hat, and that is hilarious. I don't know, it just makes me laugh. I found these guys just as I was finishing up yesterday, and they are also from the pages from that, book I got at a thrift store. And when I fussy cut them, they fit so perfectly that they're almost certainly gonna be in today's layout. But what's gonna go with them? This is visually pretty, but it doesn't really tell a story. So it's not pulling the eye enough. Sometimes you can just switch things around very simply and change the whole story. Here, that was not really the case. So let's try somebody else. I like that better. Again, there's not exactly a narrative yet, but, there's something about their eyes that are very similar, very gentle and knowing, that make them seem like they might go together. Here's another bird from that book. And again, once that was cut out, it really fit the page like it was meant for it. Now we're starting to get more of a story. What happens if I just move him down like this? It changes because here their eye line is not the same. So you've got two pretty images, but that are not related. Here they start to engage. But it's almost as if it's a standoff. That's what that look is. If you bring it all the way down here, I think it turns into something. Just moving that just to me changed the emotion a lot. Now he seems a little frightened or on edge, but not of them. It's as if he has seen something when he turned his head, and that was what was frightening him, and now he's communicating that to them. And I think he's just about to get out of there. But before he does, he's sending a message here. Or maybe not. Visually, that's good because he's looking here at the fish. Now it's almost as if these two are in league against these two. That's going to be a story. Put that there, and these guys here. And I actually do like that. Because he's looking at something we can't see, and it seems to be alarming or fascinating, or both. And they're looking at him. Again, they just look like they're laughing, these guys. And that would make a super strong page. It's got color and movement. Nah. I'm going to think about it and be right back. I got to tell you that before I started filming this video today, I was already pretty sure that I was going to be going with these because she fits the page so well. And I was like 96% sure I was going to go with the koalas. But again, I was mistaken because sometimes a layout talks to you. And that's definitely what's going on here. This is strong as a composition, and there is a story here. In spite of all of my little witterings, I think that this is one where the viewer will decide what the story is. So I'll leave that there. We need a little bit something, some elements, some embellishment to give it some oomph. Now, I know butterflies can be a little precious, but I also have rarely met anything with wings that I didn't love. And it's a nice size. It also, he's engaging with that. They're engaging with him. And so it's kind of triangulating. That's good. See what happens when you turn a piece just a little bit. You should always move your pieces at an angle. See what changes in the narrative. Now he may be watching him go. Maybe he's alarmed because whatever he's flying from is something he should be flying from. Or maybe he really likes him and he's sad that he's leaving. Or maybe he doesn't like him and he's like, you better get out of here. I don't know. And they're like, what, are you crazy? Okay, let's see what happens if I turn it this way. That changes everything. Now they're looking this way. The lines are all going this way now. and they're all engaging in a different way. I found in the Box O butterflies, I found this half wing. And I'm thinking about putting it here because it fills that space and it also picks up on the markings here. But because I've put it down here rather than as a butterfly, it's a little less precious and a little more surreal. It's as if it is something growing, some plant or some weird sea flower. And I like that a lot. I'm thinking about adding a border here, something asymmetrical, not asymmetrical, but rough torn, that's interesting, that will pull these two pages together, pull the eye across. And I have this piece of marbled paper from an old book, and I'm just going to rough tear it and see how that looks. The blue border is pretty, but it swallowed up the detail here that was making me so happy, so it's too much. Instead, I thought I would try some handwritten sheet music and make that into a border, which does allow for more contrast and detail. But I still think it's getting too busy. So I'm going to get rid of the border, just glue these down, and be right back. I am so happy with how this layout turned out. I made the page pop by going around all of the images with a charcoal pencil. This one is by Conte, but lots of people make them. And I just went around everything like this, making a line, a charcoal line. Then I smudged like crazy all around the charcoal and the images. When I'm completely finished with the page, I will add a coat of fixative to make sure that the charcoal doesn't go anywhere. Probably I am going to add some mark making to this page, but I'm not sure yet and I want to sleep on that. So I'm going to leave it here for now. If you check out the text that is below this video, you can read about what's going on here at Book and Paper Arts. If you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comments below. YouTube will like me better if you do. Until next week, happy making.